Hello guys, today I'm going to show you how to use Microsoft Identity Core to assign roles to registered users, or you can say this is like role-based authentication. Okay, so let's begin. I'm using Visual Studio 2022 and let's start a new project. I'm using the model view controller. Okay, let's mark it hmm. Okay, I did it claims because I would be using the same example for recording a claims video. I'm not using the HTTPS. It's okay, but the browser will ask to understand the application as a secure environment and other things. So I'm just skipping that part. Okay, let's take it as individual accounts. Now create. I'll try pausing the video to save your time. So okay guys, the project has been created. Now I'll go with a sequence. So I have a sequence, I'll follow that steps. Okay, let me check the app settings. So this should be set to your connection string. The connection default connection string here doesn't match mine, so I'll just remove that, and I'm going to uh, get that for this video. So in the app settings I added my connection string, and I will use it as a different database. Save it. Now we'll make small changes in the program.cs file. So if you're using an identity, it will pick up the identity user, and it will in the framework stores it will mark application db context as the table as the T. Okay, now we need a few more things here. Dot add default token providers, then dot add roles in between identity user. Okay, so that's all in our program.cs. If you want, you can have a look at the below things like add map range pages is there, map controller route is there, um, pretty much app.run. That's all we need in program.cs for um, role management. Let's cross that. Okay, so let's go ahead and add the NuGets. We already have couple of NuGets installed when we created the project. However, those those things are not up to date, so we will have to up to date that one. The latest version of whatever uh, version you are using in your .NET Core project. So I'm using .NET 6, so I will use the latest version of 6. Let me just add them up, and then I'll show you what all I added. Okay, so these few things came up, so I'll fix up with their latest versions, and few more NuGets needs to be added, so I'll add them up and I will show you what all I added. Okay, okay guys, so I installed all these NuGet packages just to give you a brief. Select the project. Okay, so this is what I did. A couple of them came up when we created the project. I upgraded them to the latest version, and few more I added. Okay, so this is basically all the NuGet packages that I added. Okay, let's move ahead. We will create a small um, model class just to use it for fetching access to that page with our identity. So model class, add model. I'll name it as products. I'll copy the contents from another project. Okay, so model class products is ready. Save it. Okay, let's go to the application DB context that inherits from identity DB context and add it here. Sorry. I missed the get set. Okay, this is how your table will be created. So okay, yeah, so products is ready now. I need to add a controller for that. So just doing before that, let's create our first migration. Let's name it as initial setup. Okay, so I would show you this error. Can only be the role that derives from identity role. Application DB context. Okay. Why? Did I miss anything? No. Okay, let me check that. Sorry guys, I did this identity user. Uh, this is identity role. I'm sorry about that. This is identity role. Okay, so moving on to the next, we will create the um, controller. Oh, sorry, it did not. This one. Okay, migrations. I'm sorry. Okay, so migrations ran successfully. Now let's update the database. My update database is going to create a database, and then uh, it will create the tables for us. Okay, all the identity tables are being generated. It's done now. Let's see. Claims prac 2. It should have all the yes, including the products table. Okay. Alright, so this is done. Now the next step is to create the controller and then test it with some products. Okay. Using views with using entity framework. Products controller. Fine. Hmm. Products controller is now generated, but what's this? Due to its products. What did I do? Oh, this is a oh, I'm sorry, I made it private. Okay, sorry, it's public. Okay, so products controller is created, and the views have also been generated. Yes, perfect. Now let's run it and see if we can create a product. Product didn't come here, so what I missed is I missed adding it in the layout. Okay, so I have to add it in the layout. From the views, from the shared layout, copy the home, products is there. So let's see if I can create a product. Okay, so I can give any ID. A name should be, let's say, TV. Description should be a television. Brand should be okay, let's take it Samsung. Create. One product is created. Create new. Suppose it's a washing machine. Brand, let's keep it Samsung. Two products created. Okay, let's create an ID. So for example, this one B. Let's say user 2. One ID is created. Okay. The product controller, let's mark it as authorize. No anonymous access. Only someone logs in, they should be able to access it, otherwise no one else could. Okay, let's click on product. It's asking for a login. Privacy, I'm able to do that. Products, it's asked for a login. Let's skip the user 2. I'm able to access now. Log out. Okay, let's move ahead to the next step. Before going to the next step, I would like to show you what all things we have got in the database so far. I'm sorry, this is different one. In the database so far we have got one user, one registered user, and two products. Okay, so the remaining these three things are not used as of now. Okay, so okay, all right, next let's go ahead to the next step. Okay, we'll have a user roles controller and add user roles to it. Let's it be an empty roles controller. Okay, it says home. User roles. Okay. I'll copy the contents from the different project. Okay, so what all we did, I got, okay, let's increase the font. Okay, so I got role manager and I got user manager, then initiated both of them. User manager most probably wouldn't be used in this video. Okay, let's see. Index, I'm passing role manager dot roles. So this one will show me all the roles in the index page. Create will allow me to create some roles, and this is the code that we are going to check. If the role exists, then it will move ahead. If it does not, then it will create a role. Okay, let's create the views. I have created an empty view, and I will show you the views for create and index. Okay guys, so this is the create view. We are using the identity core, and identity role is the model. So that gives us a name for the identity role. We will simply use the identity role's name and input the value for the name in the text box and submit it. Okay, that's creation. Index will show us identity roles, a list of identity roles that exist in a tabular format. Okay, let's run that and create some roles, and then uh, we will design the registration page to add some roles in there. Sorry guys, I missed the roles link here. However, I think I should be able to access roles from here. I made some mistake. What is that? Oh, user roles, I'm sorry. Add a role. So let's say one is employee. Let's make it employees. Admin. 2 roles created. Okay, now we are going to add that role in the register option. So anyone registering will have the role. Okay, so let me add that in the layout. That one is user roles, and here it's roles. Okay, these two things are done. Create index. Let's see in the database we got something. Yes, we got 2 roles here. Now let's change the registration form to add roles here. So now we do not have any pages. So let's add scaffolded item and identity from here. This one will give us a list of pages that we can use. So we mostly would be using the register page from here. However, I'm fetching all of them just in case we might need them. We don't really need them, but we will be using the same project in future, so I'm just getting them and we will modify them according to our use. Okay guys, so identity has brought its pages, so we will be using the register page. Before that, I will need one more model class to make some modifications in the application user. So I'll use a class and name it as application user. And this one derives from identity user. Okay, let me add 2 column values to this identity application user. I'll just copy that. Okay, so 2 values we added, first name and last name. Now we have to update the page from we have to update the database with this first name and last name using the migrations. So again, add migrations and app user. Okay, I'm sorry, I missed out one more step. Let's first of all use this thing in application DB context. Yeah. otherwise it would not show up. Okay, now things are ready. If it takes time, I'll have to pause that. Sorry guys, I'm just focusing on the length of the video so that I don't waste much of time. Okay, so it brought up, it added two columns, first name and last name, and discriminator is for application user, like it will mark a name as this entry came from application user. Okay. Okay, so first name and last name, anyway I'll be using the application user in any uh, page, so it will put it as a note on the database that it came from application user. And similarly we can use multiple what you say, identity pages, and we can have different columns in them. Alright, so let's that one is done. Let's see what we got. So after this update we should have we didn't have, did I not update the database? Okay. Now it created. Yeah, we got this three more columns here. Okay, discriminator, first name and last name. Okay, now let's modify the register page so that we can have our roles involved in it. For that we will need again the role manager, not the user manager but the role manager. Okay, got them. I will copy certain things to add the first name and last name in register code. Okay, so you can copy this thing and modify this one according to your requirement and mark it as first name and last name. Okay, so required display name and then public string first name, copy the same thing, last name, get set. Okay, now one more thing for the roles. Require public string nullable role, get set, validate never. It's not gonna validate this select list item, the roles list, so use the validate never. And I enumerable select list item. Okay, and then I'm going to add an input here, and then in the on get async, and then in the post async, get is going to get you values for the form, post is going to submit the values after you post the form. First name and last name will have errors unless we fix the application user. Okay, now one more thing, after logger save the data to roles, await user manager dot add role async user input dot role, what type of role we assign to that user, and this one that's coming up, that will be fixed with the identity user, mark it as application user. Oh. Okay, so it's probably was not it did not have it was not using the models class, so once it has added the models, yeah, this thing got fixed. Yeah, yeah, this one. Okay. Alright, so what we did here, we added two column values for displaying the name, the first name and last name. Then we added a string value for the role that we will be assigning. We added a select list item to get the roles list, and then in the get async we initialized the roles list to have the text and the value to have all our roles that are saved. And then in the post we added user.first name and last name below the email store dot set email async, and then await user manager dot add roles async user input dot role, whatever role we are going to assign it to the user if the result succeeds. Okay, then we fix the create user with application user as the type and activate a create instance application user, and that's it. Save it. Now we are going to fix the register.cshtml page, the design page. Now we are going to add two more text fields. Text field for first name. Okay, yeah, if you want you can just copy the bottom one and change the dot emails to dot first name, username to first name. So 1 2 3 4, four changes: email, username, email, email. Okay, so this one will be first name. Okay, now similarly the last name, and one more for a drop down at the bottom before submitting. Okay, now let's remove the dialogues next to the form. This one, the link that Go Microsoft, I'm just keeping out that div. You can comment out, but it's not required. Okay, so we added the drop down just above the submit button, and a first name and last name input dot first name and last name, we can copy it uh, from the email div. Okay, now it's all done. Let's go ahead, run it and see. Okay, the page has come. Roles, I'm hoping to see the roles here. Products is already okay. Products needs an authorization. Register, let's register a few more users. See, first name, last name, roles should show us. Yeah, okay, so let's first add the admin. This is the admin guy. Okay, one admin is added. Now few users. Mark it as an employee. One more user. So 3 employees and 1 admin. Alright, so 3 employees and 1 admin. Okay, 1 2 1 2 3. Yeah, okay. Let's alright, let's give them access according to their roles. Okay, so products controller has an authorize, but it does not have any roles. Let's give them a role to employees. User roles is accessible to everyone. Let's authorize it with admin. Okay, this text should match this text from your roles. This text should match with this one. Okay, so user roles is secured for admin and products is secured with employees. All right, anyone else without these roles will not be able to access them. Okay, let's see. Okay, so now I'm an anonymous user. I have access to home, I have access to privacy. Roles I do not have access, products I do not have access. So only after login I'll get the access. Alright, let's log in with an employee. Okay, so I'm logged in as Usha. Let's see, I'm able to access the privacy. Products I'm able to access, edit, delete, yes, I'm able to do all those things. Roles I'm not able to access. Okay, access is denied because it's secured with admin roles. Now let's log out and log in as admin. Admin is logged in. Privacy able to access. Products it's not able to access. Roles it's able to access. Create a role it's able to access. Okay, so home it's able to access. So this is roles based authentication. Alright guys, so that was all for this video. um, I hope you understood what we did. If you want to have a look at the codes, I can pause on some screens and you can note down the codes. uh, you can comment me where to post it. I can post the codes for you, so that will be a help for you to use the roles based authentication. Let me give you a few more tips. So we can have multiple roles on a controller. So let's say for products we can have employees and admin access on the products controller, and we can also have individual access. If I remove it from here and I can put them above the action results. So for example, if I authorize it for admin, then employees won't be able to create a product, only admin can create a product. Okay, so that's how you can put in more authorization on the action results. Okay, so this one will have only employees to create. Okay, so if I put it like for admin only, then it can have only admin. Like you can have employees and admin on the top and then give access only to the admin to create. Then employees can have access to other actions but not the create action. Okay, so that's another feature. Alright guys, that was all for this video. Um, if you want to have a look at the products controller, let me just make you go through it. Okay, so you can have a look at what all things we did. We have an index, we have details to view the this one was generated actually. This one was we generated that, like with MVC views and wait, I'll tell you what we did. Add controller, yeah, this one, MVC controller with views using entity framework. So products controller was generated, user controller was created. So we created this one to show the list of um, roles, then to create some roles, and then we used it in the register and the backend register.cshtml. Okay, if you want to have a look at it, so you can have a look. So first we got a role, this one, the read-only role manager uh, variable, then initialized with a constructor. Then in the input model we added the first name and last name that we fetched from the application user. Then we added the roles, the last before the confirm password required, this one, validate never the select list item, initialize the select list item inside the get async, on get async. In the on post async, added user dot first name and last name below the email store, and added await user manager dot add roles async below logger dot log information. Changed this private create user from identity user to application user inside the try block, application user again, and that's all. And the changes in the register view page, input dot first name, input dot last name, and the drop down above the submit button. These were the things that we added, and things went through. Alright guys, that was all for this one. Stay tuned, watch for the claims, and that's very easy. It will give you another level of access after you assign them roles. So roles and claims will be a good value for you. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.